Ready to go live?
Live.
Yeah, live. It starts 6. Oh, you can see the icon list. Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm not sure everybody here, but this is the
Yeah,
icon. This is the icon for some participants.
I cannot see any icons,
Oh, okay. Okay, you can't see the icon, so okay.
fortunately. I can see you.
Okay. I can see that, but
Okay.
seems like probably we start to talk something, probably participants will get together, so maybe we can start today. One participant here. Hi, こんばんは。Let me talk in Japanese first. こん
Sure.
ばんは。外資系英語力アップスクールの富山です。今日は当スクールのネイティブ講師のサム先生に来ていただいています。で、こんばんは。じゃあ、ちょっとここからサム先生ともお話ししたいので、英語で話したいと思います。で、なんだろう、もし何か聞きたいこととか、サム先生と話したいことがある人は、コメント欄でコメントをお願いします。そうすると、サム先生に私が聞いたりとか、コメント拾ったりとかしますので、はい、楽しみに見ていてください。というわけでよろしくお願いします。Hi, Sam.
Yes. It's
Nice
good.
to see you today. Thank you for your time today. How's you feeling?
Yeah, good. So I today I'm actually nervous. I never get nervous in class, but because this is my
Okay.
first live streaming, so I'm a little bit nervous.
Okay.
So, yes. So whoever's watching, thank you.
Mm,
You're my
Okay.
first guest. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. If you'd like to say hello to Sam, you can write it down. So,
Good.
by the way, Sam, could you kindly explain yourself briefly, because probably my future clients are interested in you and your background. So,
Sure.
Mhm.
So my name is Sam Ogle. I'm from the United States. I'm 44
Mhm.
years old. I'm from
Mhm.
Idaho State.
Mhm.
I came to Japan in
Mhm.
2001.
Mhm.
Actually, and before I came to Japan,
Mhm.
I graduated from the University of Idaho with an economics
Mhm.
degree.
Mhm.
And then I worked for a finance company for just 1 year, but it was in Florida, and
Mhm.
I was a salesman for
Mhm.
mortgage loans, for Jutaku loans, for 1 year.
Wow. Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was just a salesman. Well, yeah, not wow. I made Lehman Shock, but it was
Mhm.
good. It was great money. I was in the boom. I was in the middle
Mhm.
of the bubble.
Mhm.
I was in the middle of the bubble. I was
Okay, I
the
see.
peak, and I was in Florida. We were the uh, I worked for Conseco Financial, which has since
Mhm.
been sold and changed names, but there were 400 branches in the country
Mhm.
at that time,
Mhm.
and our
Mhm.
branch was number 14. Like it was
Mhm.
huge money. It was pretty exciting. But after that, it was really
Mhm.
stressful, and I wanted to do something else. So I came to
Mhm.
Japan in 2001,
Okay.
and yeah, and I worked for Nova, the original
Okay.
Nova. Yeah, that's the one I came. And
I see. That's a kind of famous English conversation school, right?
yes, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And a lot of
Mhm.
students
Mhm.
ask me, why did I come to Japan? And
Mhm.
so at the time I was 24 years old.
Mhm.
And
Oh, you were 24 years old at the time. I
at
don't
that
know
time,
that.
yeah, I can remember. I can
Mhm.
remember that
Okay.
time
Mhm.
so long ago. But yeah, I was 24. I was 24 when I was 23 actually when I got the job. The day
Mhm.
I came, I
Mhm.
think my birthday is May 16th, and I
Okay.
came May 20th. So I was fresh 24. I was very fresh. I was a young 24. But a lot of
Okay.
people asked, like, why did I come to Japan? And
Mhm.
the reason I came was three.
Mhm.
I wanted a new language. I didn't care
Mhm.
about Japan. I wanted a new language. I wanted
Mhm.
new culture, and the
Mhm.
yen was very strong at that time
Okay.
compared.
Oh, I see. I see. I remember that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so I worked at Nova, and then since then
Mm.
I've had 20 years of just English teaching various different.
Okay, I see. Do you love Japan?
Yeah, like this is my country.
Mhm.
This is the like I don't
Mhm.
think of America as my
Oh,
country.
okay.
I'm from America and I am
Uh-huh.
American, but like
Mhm.
this is my country. And so yeah,
Mhm.
I want to die here. Hopefully not soon, but yeah,
Okay.
this forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you love Japanese food too?
Yeah, I the so yes I do. I like the not really so I've eaten almost
Mhm.
all the Japanese foods. Like I've had
Mhm.
basashi and I
Masashi?
like
Oh, you
yeah,
love it?
yeah, some of people think it's really unusual, but I thought it was good.
Mhm.
My favorite Japanese foods are hirekatsu with
Oh,
bulldog
you
tongue.
love it. You love
Yeah,
tonkatsu.
yeah,
I
like
heard that some foreign people, some international background people, especially men, love
yeah,
tonkatsu, but their has their wives don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
tonkatsu.
I
I've heard that.
yeah, she doesn't dislike it, but I think it's okay. Yeah, and I have a
Okay.
Japanese wife and a son who's 11.
Mhm.
That's an important point.
Mhm.
I think she likes it okay. It's
Okay.
fried meat. Everybody loves fried meat. So
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
that's probably my favorite
Mhm.
Japanese food. If I have a choice,
Mhm.
I prefer Western food. Like I love
Mhm.
pizza, American style pizza.
Oh,
It's my
oh,
favorite
American
food.
style pizza. Something
But
like Chicago pizza?
yeah, like Costco pizza.
Ah, Costco.
That's
Mhm.
the food I grew up on. It tastes exactly the
Ah,
same. It's not the best.
actually, I love Costco too because especially Costco's bagel is really nice. I
Yeah,
think
it's fantastic. The
nice
big
and
pack.
cheap
Yeah, it's so cheap
and
and you can
reasonable. I mean, reasonable and delicious. So I love Costco's food too.
yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, so the Costco pizza
Mm.
is my favorite, but I like pizza and pasta and kind of Italian
Mm.
style. Those are probably my
Okay,
favorite. Those are my favorite
okay,
food.
okay. I see. Understand.
Yeah.
So you love Japanese food, and probably you can feel something like American elements here in Japan too, right?
Yeah. Like
Mhm.
yeah, like like McDonald's tastes
Mhm.
exactly like America. Burger King,
Yeah, we can
yeah,
see
Burger King's
McDonald's
good.
too.
Yeah, Burger King's a little
And
expensive.
Burger
Yeah,
King too.
yeah. Like it's American, and
Mhm.
Costco is
Mhm.
exactly the same. It's exactly the same.
Okay, okay. Yeah, exactly same.
Yeah,
I I
yeah. The
I agree
smell.
with you.
Yeah,
Okay, so after, especially what especially how to say after you we are talking about yeah, I am memorize I am remembering what kind of things I have to ask to you or
yeah.
something. Okay,
I have a list. I have a
but
list.
anyway um uh, other than work, what kind of things what kind of activity you are doing other than work? Something like, do you have
Yeah,
any hobby or?
yeah. So so it's really funny because the pandemic has changed everyone's
Mhm.
life so
Yeah,
much. So my
agree,
hobbies have
agree.
changed, and my son's 11, and when the
Mhm,
pandemic started he was 9, and
mhm,
so when he was younger all of my
mhm,
time
mhm,
was basically work and him.
mhm.
That was most of my time. During the pandemic he's getting older, and so
Okay.
he loves to play Fortnite by himself, so
Mhm,
I have a lot
mhm,
more like free time. I don't have to watch him all the time. So
mhm,
the things I like to do, especially during the pandemic, is I love watching
mhm.
Netflix. I have a
Oh, okay.
yeah, and I'm
Oh,
45.
what kind of program you were interested in?
Yeah, so the the I watch kind of a lot of a variety of different shows. Like right now, I'm
Um,
watching old science fiction program called
oh,
Star Trek.
okay,
But
okay.
this week I watched a movie called Ex Machina, and I recommend
Hmm.
it. It's a rewatch. It was my second time or third time. I really love it. I love science fiction programs, and I love
Okay. Thanks.
dark action
Mhm,
where
mm.
everybody dies, the hero
Mhm.
dies. As I like the dark police drama,
Ah,
but not a happy ending.
Oh, you don't like happy end.
Yeah, well, happy ending. It's like I like dark. I like dark TV
Mm,
shows, but not all the time. It
okay.
depends on my mood. It depends on my mood. So yeah, sometimes I like dark TV shows, but I also watch TV when I'm eating, and I don't like
Mhm,
watching dark shows if I'm eating. So more happy, and
okay.
I also like comedies. Some American comedies I watch. So
Mhm,
I watch quite a few, and I'm 44,
mm,
but I have a
mhm,
PlayStation 4, so I
mhm.
love PlayStation like a junior high boy, and
Okay.
I like running. I went
Mhm,
running. I try to go running about 3 or 4 times a week, about five
okay.
kilometers, something like that, and it's just for health, just to feel
Mhm,
healthy stuff. And actually, during the
okay.
pandemic, I exercise more. I lost weight during the
Mhm,
pandemic. I'm actually stronger because
mhm.
at work I eat terrible food and I never exercise, but at my house, yeah, I
Okay.
exercise a lot. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. Probably we can see three participants.
three
So,
participants.
so
Hello, everyone.
let me talk in Japanese a bit.
Sure.
そうそう。こんにちは。外資系英語力アップスクールの富山陽子です。なんか今日3人の人に見てくださってますね。ありがとうございます。このビデオ、アーカイブも残しておきますので、もしよかったら、そこにコメントを残してもらってもいいんですけど、もし、サム先生とおしゃべりしたかったり、なんだろう、喋りたいなみたいな人がいたら、コメント欄でコメントを入れてくれると嬉しいです。英語で話してくれてもいいんですし、自信がない人は日本語で話してもらっても大丈夫です。OK, we can go ahead.
And it can be my first, and
Yeah.
whoever asked the first question, it's my first time on a stream. So you can have my first streaming question in my life. It's a one-time present that one of you three can get.
This,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but anyway, this is the we need to try. We need to have a trial anyway.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. No,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
probably. I'm gonna try to have this kind of opportunity because I would like to find someone who is really interested in to learn English because I strongly believe that English is very convenient to communicate everybody beyond the race or beyond the language. So therefore, I think English changed my life. So I'd like to deliver that kind of convenience to any other people all over the world. I mean, especially I'd like to change Japanese people's minds. English is too hard or something like that. But probably you have a lot of teaching experience, right? Something
Yes.
like how long? How long do you have? Something like 20 years,
Yeah, 20
right?
years. 20 years.
Mm,
And the
mm,
the I have it's
mm,
I have a lot of different kinds of teaching.
mm,
So the
mm,
Nova, and this is the original Nova, was a giant
mm.
school. We had
Yeah, giant
3,000
school.
clients.
Mm,
Yeah, I worked
mm,
in Hiratsuka, yeah, the Hiratsuka
mhm,
Nova, and there were
mhm.
3,000 students at that school.
Whoa,
And we had
3,000.
3,000 students, and we taught 35 lessons a week and so it's just like,
Wow.
yeah, but they were short. They were short. And then I
Uh-huh.
worked at Shinjuku Gaba in
Oh,
2000.
Shinjuku Jobber. Okay.
Yeah, for 1 year, and that
Uh-huh.
that was kind of, and I worked for some small schools before
Uh-huh.
that, and that was another big. We had 40 teachers at that school,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
there were at Shinjuku was interesting because we had a lot of Pfizer people come, and
Ah, that's true. That's true. So you are familiar with pharmaceutical industry
yeah,
people.
at the
But
time, mm,
at that time, I mean,
mm,
what kind of topics you were talking about?
yeah, so
Something like
yeah,
when you were taught, you were when you were taught instructor as Shinjuku Nova,
teacher,
not Nova, Gaba,
yeah,
ne? Gaba,
yeah.
sorry.
So it's
Shinjuku
interesting.
Gaba.
So
Mm,
Shinjuku Gaba, we used a
mm,
business textbook, but it's kind of
mm,
like my teaching has kind of grown up because originally I worked at big schools, and
mhm,
at Shinjuku Gaba,
mhm,
you don't have a lot of freedom. You don't have a lot of freedom, and you
uh-huh,
have business textbooks, but you have to cover this particular point at this particular point. And so we would talk about the same topics that like every business textbook has. So how to do a meeting, how to do a presentation, how to do a telephone conference, or some different task. But I heard a sound. But then at the time, I didn't have a lot of my own ideas. I would just kind of follow it. But then after I quit GABA, I worked for a bunch of different small schools, and I'd work like independently, and I would kind of develop my own systems, and I would meet more business people. And so like I could kind of tailor make my like whatever I would try, like if a student has a particular request, I could talk about their particular request. So for the story that I tell is, so I've worked with like some pretty big, like some big consulting companies or people that have high level positions at big Japanese companies, but also I've worked with people, the one of my students is a woman, and she's an eyelist.
Okay.
So she does eyelash.
Oh, okay.
Eyelist. I've never heard that word. And she said, I'm an eyelist. And her English was not very good. And she wanted to open eyelist studios in Guam. And she wanted to do training about being an eyelist in Guam. And she came in and she asked me about that. And I was like, I don't know anything about eyelashes. I don't know anything about eyelash. And I had to study. And it's fundamentally, it's the same kind of thing. If you're making a presentation to like a big Japanese leading bank, or if you're making a presentation about how to be an eyelist, the fundamental concepts are the same. The fundamental concepts are the and like so yeah. And so like as I got experience, it's you can sort of see trends because most people have the same weak points. Almost everyone, especially in Japan. Not everyone, but generally the weak points are similar. So.
Oh, really? What kind of weak points?
Yeah, so this is the there's something that I think is a big lack of Japanese education is presentations. I think Japanese people in general have almost zero. So my first speech class was when I was in 8th grade, when I was 13 or 14. And that first day, my speech teacher made everyone talk. Everyone in the class had to talk for 2 hours. And
I totally agree with you, because even though in Japanese we don't have presentation class, but US is different, right?
No, much. It was, and this was 1990 something. Like it's 30 years ago that I went 30. Yeah, like 30 years ago. And so we gave speeches every week from 8th grade, and then I did speeches all through high school in every class. And then in university, my last 2 years, we would make big presentations to the whole class, like 300 people.
Oh, wow.
And my school was wonderful because our score was 30% the test, 30% professors' judgment, and 30%, or maybe 33, and 33% was the students judging me. Like, so we would make a presentation on our project, and if the students like you, they would give you a score. And it's wonderful because you have to make a presentation for the professors and for the students. And you have to judge like the different audience, and you have to make both of them happy. So the way to develop presentations and experience and like just the philosophy, like basic philosophy presentation, Japanese people, a lot of people have no experience, no training, and their first presentation is they have to present to their new Malaysian manager, and it's like really important for their job, and they've never done it before, and it's just like that's so unfair. Like you're 35 years old, you've never made a presentation, and then you get a new manager, and it's so stressful, and you can't succeed. You can't succeed like that. It's just
in Japanese, that's a stressful situation, but especially if someone who works for the foreign company, they have to do something like presentation in English, right? That's the issue, right?
Yeah, because like there's one guy in particular. His company was sold suddenly, and suddenly he had a Malaysian manager, and he had never used English in his job before, and suddenly he had to present, and if he does a bad job, he could lose his job, or like it has real financial consequences, and he was so stressed.
Okay.
And it's so yeah, so I think that's a big
to improve Japanese people's presentation. What kind of teaching method do you have?
Yeah,
what kind of teaching method do you apply?
Yeah, so
I'm so curious.
Yeah, so I've actually, this is something I've worked on. So I think the things that I'm not an expert at presentation. Like I think I'm better than most Americans, but I'm not like a world class. I'm not world class. I'm better than most people, maybe. But the thing that I think that Japanese people fail to do is when they get a presentation, the first thing they start doing is making slides or studying a sentence. And so like the key point with a presentation is you have to think, what do I want to say? And who is my audience? And who's the audience and what is my message? And like that's the fundamental. And then there's kind of three groups. So the first group is, so like what's your message is the basic thing. Then the how to present. So your voice and your standing and your physical and your voice is kind of the how to. And then the second, how to make slides, PowerPoint slides or whatever. And I'm not an expert at PowerPoint slides, but in general, like in my experience, the students I have are really, really terrible. So I'm better. Like most people try to put way too much information and way too many slides. So how to present, slides, and then Q&A, like question and answer, how to handle that. And yeah, those are like three elements that most people are pretty weak on.
Okay. Thank you for clarification. But other than presentation, what's the weak point of Japanese English learners?
Yeah,
especially something like English course, something like us. I think we have to tell them 3 points. First of all, pronunciation. Second, grammar and vocabulary. I think so. But that's my idea. But what do you think about what's the weak point of Japanese people? Probably you have a different view. Well, you can explain and from your viewpoint. So probably.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this, and it's kind of I think so I agree, pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary, most people are not very good. And I always, when people go to other Asian countries, a lot of times you can speak English on the street and communicate. In Japan, you really can't at most places. It depends where you are, but it's the Japanese level in general is or English level in general is pretty low. So yeah, I agree those are all weak points. For regular students, just daily conversation, for people that are traveling, I think one of the biggest weaknesses that is the mental thing where they try to translate everything. And
translation.
Yeah,
translation.
Agree. And they try to so two things, they try to translate everything, and I think this is a Japanese educational thing, because a lot of English education, especially in the past, was Japanese teaching English, and so they just learn the phrase and eigo nakiru, and like that's and they just style. So like people get in the habit of translating everything, and it's impossible to improve your fluency. Like there's a maximum, because so that's one point, is translate too much, and it's really hard to stop. I understand it's tough to stop, but I think that's a big weak point. And the second one, and it's kind of related, I think in Japanese English education, there's a big pressure on the correct answer. And so when you're in school, you try to translate one sentence, and this way is correct, and everything else is incorrect. And language is not like that. And the emphasis on correct versus incorrect, it makes people hesitate. a lot. And I was thinking about like what's my teaching philosophy, and I think my teaching philosophy is kind of trying to view language as a task. Like we want to accomplish some task. So if I want to order food at McDonald's, if I can order food, I'm successful. If I can't, I fail. And you can go any way, but like trying to get that goal. Or in a business setting, if you're trying to get a new client, and then that's the goal, is get the new client. And so, and if you are successful, you can be happy. If you're unsuccessful, people, you can be unhappy. And I can speak Japanese decently well, and I have some confidence in it, even though my Japanese is pretty, like my grammar, I fail a lot of times. But when I have success, like if I go to the Zemusho and I can communicate about some question or something like that, and I get the answer, I feel really satisfied. Like I did it. I feel great. And I think most students, or a lot of students, would not feel the success, and they'd feel, oh, my grammar was terrible, and they're like too negative. They're too negative, and they can't enjoy the success. It's like, oh, I got a new client in English. Yay! That's it. That's the goal. That's the goal. Even if you're not. So yeah, I think, and when you feel nervous, that affects your mental attitude, and you can't speak as quickly. So translate too much and not like not confident. That's I think those are the two weak points.
Okay. I totally agree with you. I am currently preparing for my first publication, but I'm trying to challenge the Japanese people's English issue, and then so and that's gonna be kind of interesting thing. So, but I actually have three participants. So, do you have any questions? Oh, sorry, probably we have three people who watch this.
Hello.
Three people, yeah, who watch this on live stream. But I would like to ask something to everybody. I'm not sure they are familiar with something like this system. So, but let me talk in Japanese a bit. こんばんは。外資系英語力アップスクールの富山陽子です。サム先生とのライブトーク、いろいろちょっとやってるんですけれども、皆さんどうですか？楽しんでいらっしゃいますか？どうだろう？コメントしたりとか、サムに聞きたいことってありますか？日本語でも英語でも OK ですよ。もし、日本語で来たら、私がトランスレーションして、サムに話しますし、もし、
We have a question. The first one.
Yeah, yes, I got a question
Good
from
job.
the person.
Oh, I can see a chat. There we go. Okay, great. Can I read it? Is it okay? I also agree, all those three. I also think we should know it is okay to ask questions when we don't understand what native speaker said. That is correct. I agree with you. Great.
Yeah.
Yes, Facebook user.
Yeah, but let me see the this group, because probably if I see Emi-san, she's actually she's gonna be my instructor class student.
And I'm sorry, could you say the name, please?
She's Emi.
Emi. Like
Emi-san.
Different Emi?
Emi-san. So.
Is it the Emi I know?
Hi, Emi. This is Sam, and he's actually he's my our class. Sorry, I don't sleep last night. I didn't sleep last night. So my brain caused actually damage. But someone say hello to you. Hello.
Actually, the first comment I would actually like to mention, that reminds me of something that I also think is a weak point. Japanese people, I think they are embarrassed to say when they ask questions when you don't know what's said. That's perfect. Like people won't say I don't know or I don't understand. Whereas in Japanese I say that all the time. Where like it's not, you shouldn't be ashamed when you don't understand. You just don't understand. So yeah, I think there's kind of a shame, and so yeah. So
I think so too. They are kind of embarrassing to say, "Oh, I don't know," or
yeah, and it was really hard when I came here. When I first
Mhm,
started teaching, it was really tough because people
mhm,
won't tell you when they don't understand. And now I can
mhm,
see on people's face that. But when I
mhm,
first came here, the faces are a little different, expressions are different,
mhm.
and silence doesn't mean everything's okay.
Yeah, I
Sometimes,
agree. I
yeah,
agree.
there's a silent
Mm,
confusion, silent agreement,
mm,
silent disagreement, and you have to
mhm,
judge the silence in Japan.
mhm.
So
I agree.
yeah.
I see. I see. Probably, I am not sure everybody is watching, but okay. Thank you. I think I am not sure how many people are watching us, but okay. Thank you, Sam. Thanks for sharing the info. Thanks for sharing your thoughts or
I,
uh,
it, it,
your thoughts or your experience. But
I, I'm just
uh,
agreeing with him.
let,
Yeah.
let me ask one question regarding um, what kind of clients or students who can improve. What's the key? I mean, what's the key topics? Key to improve people
Yeah.
improve their English. I mean, especially someone who just live in Japan.
Yeah. So
um,
it kind of like in a business situation,
mhm.
it, particularly in a business situation.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
you can say both. I mean,
yeah,
probably they are.
yeah,
I think the subscribers. I mean, the people who watch this movie probably they would like to improve their English anyway. So probably you can say from your
yeah.
experience or your thoughts, anything is fine.
Yeah, so it's a big question. It's a big
Mm-hmm.
question. The
Uh-huh.
I feel that so I think motivation is a huge factor. Like
Oh, motivation.
I think that's a key component of how much
Mm-hmm.
motivation. It's not the only component, but I think if you want to improve a lot and quickly, motivation is a
Mm-hmm.
key point. Uh, the studying the correct way, or
Mm-hmm.
not wasting study time and not wasting
Mm-hmm.
energy, I think is important too. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, they'll have energy and motivation and they'll do
Mm-hmm.
things that are not super productive.
Mm-hmm.
And they so the what do I think is the key? So some techniques that I think are so I agree. I think understanding basic grammar is a fundamental
Mm-hmm.
point, especially if someone's
Mm-hmm.
a beginner. So if they're a
Mm-hmm.
beginner, you have to understand present
Mm-hmm.
tense, past tense, future, the
Mhm,
basic question phrases, basic
mhm,
vocabulary. Uh,
mhm,
that's a fundamental thing at the beginning.
mhm,
Learning vocabulary, an easy
mhm,
way that
mhm,
I recommend for people, and a very cheap, cost-effective way and fun way, is watching
mhm.
TV. Like watching,
Agree.
yeah,
Agree.
and when
Especially Japan, not English TV, right?
yes, in English, yeah, and
What's your
just
recommendation? I mean, I love Disney movies,
yeah,
or I also love CNNs,
yeah,
even though it's difficult sometimes. But
yeah.
I
So
love CNN. Probably sometimes I love to see BBC or something because I used to work for British telecommunication. Therefore, I need to learn something like British accent too.
yeah, yeah. So what I recommend to students is if something that they love, like loving the thing or being interested in the thing is the most important. It's
Ah.
more than the topic, because
Mhm.
if they like the topic, they will enjoy it.
Mhm.
And the key
Mm.
another key point, motivation
Mhm.
and consistency and
Mhm.
like stability. And so a
Oh.
lot of students will study really hard for a week or two,
Mhm.
and then they'll
Mhm.
just stop. They'll just stop. They'll stop.
Ah, yeah.
The effort level
Mm.
will decrease, and it's much
Mm.
better rather than high to low, to just be like
Ah,
middle low
mhm.
consistently.
You were talking about constant efforts, right?
Constant and lower constant is much better than high to nothing. which is
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar. Okay.
So for me, in my personal experience, before I was born, my Japanese was not great. It was okay, but not great. And then when my son was born, he watched Ampaman, and we would watch Ampaman together.
Oh, yeah.
That
see.
I love Ampaman, and that Ampaman I will always remember because it was the first time where I watched Ampaman with him, and I was watching TV and enjoying the story. And I love, like, oh, Kokin-chan wants to go to Ramen Tenji's house to get the special and like I can understand the story. And it was so exciting for me because like I know what's gonna happen. Oh, it's Chibi Okami is gonna do this or that. And like I would learn all of these new words, and I'm not studying. I'm just enjoying it and getting exposed. And I think that is a wonderful technique. Like I was having fun. I was like, it's actually fun. And so like I think that's the key point. And if people enjoy reading, it's okay. But something that you enjoy reading or something that you enjoy doing. So yeah, those are good ones. Good ones.
I see. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Thank you.
Okay. And everybody, do you have any comments or do you have any questions against us or Sam's? Probably.
Great. And I can actually see the comments.
Yeah. I'm waiting for comments, but not sure. Somebody asked, hi. What do you think most important to include? Let me see. Who is the participant? Let me see. Oh, Masako.
Masako.
Masako-san.
Yeah, Masako. So nice. Oh, I can read it. Hello, Yoko-san, Sam. Nice to meet you. Smiley face, thank you. What do you think is the most important thing for Japanese to improve English communication skill? So, kind of as I mentioned before, I think if you can stop, like, and it's very hard, but if you can stop translating and think about English as a task, because language is just we have an idea in our brain and we make sounds with our mouth. Someone listens and they translate it. Language is a very funny thing, and so think about the task that you're trying to accomplish. And I think too many students, when they're talking, they're thinking about the word or the sentence, and they're not thinking about the message. They're not thinking about the message, and so when they speak, they lose their tone. So everything becomes a question. So I ate a hamburger yesterday, like that. Everything is a question, and so you lose that tone. And I think my Japanese my grammar is often terrible, and my vocabulary is very limited. But my tone is always natural, and I don't really translate very much, and people can understand from the context of what I'm saying, and I sound pretty natural just because I'm talking. I'm trying to communicate an idea rather than thinking about my sentence. So if that's helpful, Masco, if that's helpful.
Masako.
And if you have more Masco, you can keep coming. I can read them. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? We actually have three people. Probably, I will leave the archives because probably someone who cannot watch as a live. So I mean, probably someone can see the archives too. So probably I'm gonna leave the message to as an archive too. So okay, probably. I think we enjoy chatting with you, but probably some can share with us your background, what kind of teaching experience you have, or I think I strongly believe that I I can tell your personality and your characteristic or something like that. So okay, thank you. Sam, thank you for your time today, and I think we can enjoy the talking with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But let me explain my school's event for future. So because we are actually planning to have. Let me share with you the slides. Actually, I'm planning to have opportunity. Someone who's interested in our school.
Yeah, that's a good picture. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, okay. Let me talk in Japanese. Sorry, but そうですね。このビデオをアーカイブ残しておくので、アーカイブ見てくださった方にっていうご案内っていう形なんですけれども、11月2日ですね。ちょっと先なんですけれども、サム先生と一緒にですね、またこういうイベントをやっていきたいと思ってます。Sam, we were talking about criticism.
Yeah.
How to avoid criticism. 今度はね、どうやって上手に批判とか難しいことをかわしていくかっていうことをサム先生とね一緒にね英語でまたちょっと勉強していこうかなと思ってますので、ご興味ある方はまたちょっと遊びに来てください。難しくないように英語なんですけどハンドアウトとかもありますので、はい、そういうものもありますので、ぜひぜひ遊びに来てくださいっていうのと、明日なんですけれども、読書の秋応援っていう形でですね、また私が30分ぐらいちょっとライブするんで、もしよかったらまた遊びに来てくれてると嬉しいなと思ってます。というわけでですね、ライブ配信を終えたいと思います。今日もありがとうございました。ではでは。
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sam.